Okay, a really quick video on an easy way to use nail powders on rocks. The supplies you're gonna need, well, first let me show you what you can create. Look at these fantastic colors. This is a dark blue. This one has like a holographic rainbow silver situation. And although this doesn't show up real great in the light on the video, it's really great in person. It's very twinkly and holographic pink. So the easiest way I found to apply this is to use one of my favorite products, which is an airbrush medium. I actually don't airbrush, but I use this to refill my pens if I need to thin the paint down a little bit. I'm gonna need a little brush. These are generally used for like a, let's see if I can get a good enough look at that, like a distress ink where you kind of do a dry brushing of inks onto paper generally, and they come in different sizes. This is just a little mini one I got on Amazon. I can link to it below. And then you need some of this nail powder. Now it comes in all different colors. The ones I like tend to be chrome or holographic. Find them on Amazon beauty supply stores. I think the brands are pretty similar. I don't think that part matters very much. And then just a little something to scoop some of this powder out with. And then I'm gonna show you how to do this on a rock that has been painted black. This one has been sealed with a little glossy sealer, and this is just a matte acrylic. And I wanted to compare whether this went on any better on one surface versus another. So to start out, all you're gonna do is shake your airbrush medium just a tiny bit. You just want literally a drop or two. Okay, just a little clear piece of plastic here that I'm using. Now this powder really gets everywhere. So be careful opening that. And then all I do is a tiny dab of the airbrush medium, which is like watery, very thin. Tiny dab of that. Sometimes I tip it out. Usually these days I've just been dipping into here because it seems to go a little easier. Kind of on this surface. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you guys maybe can see a little better what I'm doing. I'm just kind of mixing the powder with the medium until it seems not wet, not dry, somewhere in between, a little bit pasty, and it's caking onto the tip of your brush. And then you just literally, oh my goodness, look at that green, how great is that? Brush that right on. If you feel like it's crumbling, getting everywhere, just add a little more of the medium, and that will let it adhere a little bit better. And up till now, I've been doing this on a matte acrylic rock, and that seems to grab really well. I'm curious on this slicker rock what ends up happening. I'm not sure how that's gonna go. I'll do that next. Oh, I'm just in love with this green. So the other tutorials that I've seen on this seem to always use some kind of sticky undercoat, whether it's a resin or sealer of some sort, some kind of clear coat, and then apply this powder by kind of piling it on and rubbing it in. But I like this brush because it just takes some of that messiness out. So there you go. Now, I have found that after I do both sides, let this dry a little bit, sometimes I come back and I see a couple of spots that aren't quite as shiny. You can just literally get a little bit more of that same kind of thing and go back and reapply. The holographic one, the silver, seemed to take, now I don't want to touch it with my green hands, seemed to take a couple more coats. And so you might play around with what you're, sorry, I have drag racers in my neighborhood. Just trying not to obscure my voice with it. So you might play around with what base color you used on this. Believe it or not, this is black underneath, but I did find the black showed through a little bit. Maybe gray would be better. You can play around with that. And then I just have a little bag for the ones I've used previously. These, I don't know that it's really that necessary even to rinse it in between. I've just tucked it in a little bag. Next time I go back and just use it again, and all of that glitter seems to just continue to be useful. So it's not quite like a paint where it really dries out. All right, I wanted to try on this. Maybe we'll do a different color. How about a gold? Okay, so this has got a slicker surface. Yep, that's what I thought. So this tells you what, so you don't have to try. You can see how this is kind of smearing onto there, but not covering very well. And that's what I suspected would happen. Most of the time, a slick surface is not your friend. Yeah, not gonna be my favorite. So I suggest always starting with a matte acrylic base coated rock, probably black, gray, or white, something that's gonna play with the color you're using or enhance it, deepen it. And that's basically all there is to it. Hope that's a fun technique.